Morez. In the French Jura Mountains, like all the old eyewear producing regions, has water to thank for its very existence. From the 16th century onwards, the River Bienne was used to power forges. The town's metalworking trade developed with the emergence of nail making, clock making, and enamelling. Production of eyewear started in 1796, when Pierre Hyacinthe Cazeux had the wonderful idea of stretching a nail, drawing it out, wrapping it around a pair of lenses and putting it behind the ears. He produced approximately 25 gross a year. What's a gross? A gross is 12 dozen. So approximately 300 dozen frames were produced a year. Dozen? France? Imperial system? It's a bit strange, but true. In 1820, his godson Pierre Hyacinthe Lamy founded the first eyewear factory in Morez. Expensive eyewear, like this one, were replaced by a more affordable model which could be worn by the general public. The 19th century saw the beginning of the eyewear industry and mass production. Iron was replaced by steel, and for some strange reason the pince-nez came back into fashion. Maybe the reason for this is that it was a solderless product and relatively easy to produce. Slim models were quick to follow. These were called wire or hairline thin frames. They were a great success, and Morez quickly became the European centre for eyewear production. Several thousand people were now employed in the industry. 12 million frames were produced a year by the end of the 19th century. Work was divided between the urban centre, which was Morez, and the farms, the local farms where the people laboured during the long winter months. There were three main stages in the production of an eyewear frame: preparation, assembly and finishing. Preparation of the wire and the cutting of the lugs, the screws, the temples and the rim. Assembly of the different components using screws and soldering. And the finishing, which was cleaning and polishing. Business slowed down during the war because Morez was in occupied France. But from 1945 to 1975, the so-called 30 glorious years, business in Morez thrived. With the emergence of glasses in the 1950s, we went from prosthetics to aesthetics, and this gave a further boost to the eyewear industry. Companies like Lamy, Bourgeois, Sebet and Lux de Morez were amongst the largest in the world. Brand names like Nina Ricci, Lacoste, Pierre Marly, Oliver Goldsmith, Ted Lapidus, Amour, to name but a few, were produced here. The companies, big and small, were set up to work as subcontractors for the major brands. Business boomed. But they never saw the low-cost countries coming. Their quality was considered inferior and not a threat. Fashion brands and marketing-savvy manufacturers began to play a leading role, and the simple subcontractor entered into a world where every centime counted if they wanted the business. Some companies survived, like Oxybis, Julbo, Vega and Morez, by creating and promoting their own products. Others stuck at what they do best, subcontracting, like Thierry and Application Lunetx, with profit margins that other capitalists might turn their noses up at. Most closed their doors. We have an eyewear museum today, thankfully, and some very good people who believe they can turn things around again. I live, love and work here. Morez and the Haut-Jura is a very special place. Please come and visit.